behalf of, where I, Dara Kalima, the community poet, chat with folks who speak on behalf of their respective communities. Today, I have an awesome creative mover and shaker. I don't know, we will let them tell you all about themselves, but I met this person at the Bronx Poetry because they are dope. And so I'm not gonna say anything else. Tell us your name.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Shay Marie G. I am the I told you I have dogs, right? So I am the owner and creative of Bronx Poetry as well as Canvas Culture LLC.
Awesome. And so your pronouns for anyone who just knows so they can say it when they talk about you in the future, because they will be talking about you.
It's she and her.
Thank you. And then, so tell us more about yourself. So you said you have a lot, your hands are in a lot of things. So tell us.
Okay. So I started off doing professional background. I sung background for, I want to say, like 3 to 4 years. And then from that, I kind of digressed from entertainment and started working for the city of New York. While I was working for the city of New York, I was so miserable because I wasn't really feeding my creative side. So I started SWB Radio. And then from SWB Radio, it turned into Bronx Poetry because a lot of the artists from the Bronx didn't really have like a safe outlet to perform. So at that time, we developed Bronx Poetry. And then from Bronx Poetry, you know, we opened up Canvas Culture LLC. And then, you know, I partner with various creatives on events and like cultural events, or anything from poetry to music to painting, body painting, just creative writing workshops. So all types of just artistic events.
I didn't know about the body painting, but okay, now let me find out.
We had a Poland paint and everything too.
A Poland paint? All right. All right. I clearly am not stalking you enough because I did not know about that. So what communities do you represent?
So I represent a number of communities. The number one community that I represent is the Bronx, and that is all day, every day. All day, every day. I also represent a culture of people who grew up in an unconventional environment. So, you know, I definitely advocate for people who grew up without moms and without dads and without that, you know, family composition that everyone thinks that the world has, you know.
So is that the one in which we're going to be talking about primarily today?
Yes, that's okay. What we're going to be talking about today.
And so are those the only 2 different communities you represent?
Oh my God. I am a lesbian, so I'm a part of the LGBTQHYZ LMNOP community. And so that's another community that I'm a part of. I'm a woman. I'm a Black woman. Like there's there's numbers of things that we can say.
I was just checking because I was speaking to some people last night and we were talking about, like, I was talking to them about, and it's Jerini, our mutual friend. And I was like, hey, one day I'm gonna have Black gamers on this or female gamers. So, you know, whatever.
Ooh, fun. So. I am a sci-fi nerd. I'm not a gamer though, but I'm a sci-fi. Like I would love to go to Comic-Con and dress up like a Klingon. Like I love stuff like that.
Did you just say the Klingon?
Yes, I would.
You know, you just spoke my language though, right? You know, you just spoke my language.
Listen. When I say I love sci-fi, like I will sit down and watch sci-fi, and mind you, it doesn't even have to be good sci-fi. It could be low budget films. Give me an alien. Give me
see, I know you're cool.
A planet. Give me spaceships. Give it to me. This is what I want. This is what I came here for. I've seen The Fifth Element. I want to say at least 70 times, probably more than that. Like,
wow. Okay. I mean, I love The Fifth Element too. But yeah, you may be a little bit more hardcore than me. I'm a Trekker. So okay. That's why you said Klingon. And I was like, all right now, because I see you. I've been seeing someone and I had to corner them because they kept pretending like they love Trek so much. And I was like, I need you to be honest with me. You like Star Wars more than Trek, don't you? Like, just, yes. I need you to sit down and be real about this because I can tell that you like Star Wars more. And like, I like Star Wars, but I'm a Trekker. So we need to be real about where your alliance is so that I could
So I
you
need
know,
to
shift
know
you
where we're
accordingly.
going, because I need to know where our relationship is going.
Like
You got to tell me.
because I'm gonna have to see if I can convert you, you know, like
Exactly.
it's a thing. It's a thing. The only
Oh
reason why I
my
read is
God.
because I used like this is how nerdy I am in terms of in terms of sci-fi. My ringtone, my phone is always on silent. So sorry, that's why I didn't hear your call. But my phone is always on silence. But my ringtone is Quantum Leap theme song. So I don't know if you remember that show. Okay, there you go.
Oh, I remember that show. I remember that show.
So that is my ringtone. It has been the ringtone for about 5 different phones now because I just keep
Oh my
making
God.
sure that I
All
keep
right,
it
hold
on
on.
ringtone.
This is how we really know who you are. Do you like Doctor Who?
Of course, but you know what? I'm so mad. So I didn't know about Doctor. I didn't appreciate Doctor Who until I went to the UK, and then I watched all of it while I was in the UK, right? And I came back and I watched the rest of it of what
There
I
is
finished.
no way that you could watch all of it
I
because
mean,
it's about
I'm talking about
127 seasons.
I'm talking about, you know, since we can keep it, because the original series you can't find, you know, you don't
Yeah.
have the originals really because they didn't keep track of that back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So where you can watch it from like what I don't even know what number doctor that is, but whatever doctor that we can watch in the more recent series of doctors. Yes, I have watched all
So
of that.
many.
But
Oh, I love
I have not
this.
seen the female doctor. And that's
Yeah,
because it is
me neither.
impossible. Like
I refuse.
I don't want to pay for it the same way. I got the VPN to purposefully be able to watch it in UK to find out it was not on anything I could access still on TV. And I was like, I'm not doing all of this. I'm not paying an extra anything to see the show, but I have
Oh
seen
my
everything up
God.
until her of
That
the
is
current
hilarious.
doctors. So yes,
Hilarious.
yes. I took all the pictures next to TARDISes when I was in Scotland because I was like, I need a picture next to a TARDIS.
Now I am ready because that's okay. That needs to happen in my life. I need to see a TARDIS. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. You
You're
have given
welcome.
me a life goal. Thank you.
So that all said, the community which we're discussing, can you tell me why this community matters to you?
So me growing up, my mother had me at a very young age. So she had me when she was about 17. And you know, and I'm not gonna blame the fact that she's young because there's plenty of young moms who were able to be there for a child, but unfortunately I did not have one. So my mother gave me to her adopted family, which was her mother and father. So she pretty much like left me with her adopted family. And then, you know, growing up, I want to say at the age of 4, my adopted, well, they didn't adopt me. She just kind of like left me and they took care of me. You know how that goes. So the grandmother died, so which was my grandmother. So I was raised the majority of my life with my grandfather, who was my mother's adopted father.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's complicated. How was that?
It was interesting. So first of all, my grandfather's from Barbados.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know anything about West Indian older men, but their culture is dramatically different than American, American culture. So I grew up with, why you want to paint your nails? And I'm like, I'm 12. Like, kids put nail polish on. No, you can't paint your nails, and you can't go this way, can't do this, you can't do that. And then until I turned like 16 or 17, because in their culture, you're an adult. So it went from like one drastic extreme to like, you can't do anything, to at 16, oh, you're an adult. You want to drink? Okay. You want to smoke? Okay. Well, you're an adult. So, it was really weird. And then like me being gay as well, and that whole culture, it was tough, but my grandfather loved me with a very tough hand, but he was very loving and very giving, and he spoiled me crazy. But it was tough communicating because we spoke 2 different languages.
Okay. So having grown up in a less than traditional household, I guess, for whatever that means, what is there something beautiful you can say comes from growing up that way?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like the love that I have for my grandfather and the love that he had for me made me have faith that people can really care about people. And like, I know that blood does not make family. And, you know, my friends are literally my family. And, you know, I've never, like, I'll meet someone, and if I gravitate towards you, you immediately become my sister. You immediately become my brother, and I will not treat you any different. So, you know, growing up with him, it really made me realize that, you know, though having a blood related family is beautiful to watch, you know, your line, there's still people in this world that will love you, whether, you know, you are blood or not. So that's something definitely beautiful that I've learned from that relationship with him.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I mean, sometimes the family that is your blood just, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, my face just said it all. It's just like, yeah, it's just, sometimes it's just, yeah, sometimes the chosen family or the non-blood family is more important anyway.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know if this is actually an accurate question, and I don't know if you can answer it, but is there and I think it's interesting because actually, I'm not going to ask that question, but I know you are married, correct? And yes, you said something that I saw on Facebook at some point, that your wife also comes from a non-traditional family too?
Yeah, so she grew up with only her mom as well. I don't feel comfortable with sharing her
don't give her business. Yeah.
But she grew up in a non-traditional family as well. Yeah.
So do you think that helped you to bond because of that, or?
Not really. I think that we grew up in two separate worlds, because though she had a mother figure, so, you know, she just grew up very different than me. My grandfather was very like hard, like, get this done, that's it, don't ask me no questions. And I realized, like, that's how I am too at certain times. Like, if I say this needs to be done, that's it, like, just do it, you know. Like, just get it done, chop chop. You know, some people need a little bit more, like, you know, I need you to do this, because if you don't, then this is what happens. And I don't work that way. Like, literally, like, someone says, Chanel, I need this done, I'm like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm working on a project, I'm like, no, this needs to be done, let's move on. I don't need someone, oh, well, you know, nope, just what needs to be done, let's do it, you know. So,
yeah. Understood. So can you share a fun fact about yourself?
Oh my gosh, a fun fact about myself. So I used to sing background for many years, and I grew up in, boy, you see my dog? So
he's so happy you're home.
He is so happy to just be around me. But I went to the Girls Choir of Harlem, and there is where I performed and studied classical music. And I performed at Carnegie Hall. I've performed at the Waldorf Astoria while I was in school at the Girls Choir of Harlem. So I did that. I did not graduate from the Girls Choir of Harlem. I actually left after, I want to say, 3 years, because I wanted to pursue radio. So I took a radio internship as my way out with WNYE to graduate high school early. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you miss singing?
You know what? I do, and then I don't. I feel like the music industry in a whole is just really tough. And it took for some reason, it just took the joy away from me, right? And it's nothing wrong with it. You know, a lot of people are like, well, if you were singing before, you could pick it back up again. And I'm like, no, I actually enjoy giving opportunities to other performers. I enjoy booking shows and giving platforms. I enjoy making sure that performers are getting paid. I enjoy that. So, you know, yes, I miss singing, and I can sing on my own if I want to, but I enjoy, ooh, you eating a paintbrush, and I am gonna hurt you later. But yeah, I want to get you. I'm gonna get you. So yeah, I enjoy singing, but at the same point, I really enjoy the background work a lot more. I enjoy it more.
So wait, you're a singer, but you founded Bronx Poetry.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I founded Bronx Poetry with the simple ideology of providing a platform, simply. So I didn't perform. I think I performed at one of my own shows maybe once or twice, which is not typical for a poetry curators. They're usually hosts that perform. I don't perform. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with performing at your shows, but I just don't do that. I provide the platform and that's it. I step to the side and give the spotlight to someone else.
Are you also a poet at all or no?
Yeah. So I write on my own, or whatever. I've written tons of poems. I mean, my artists are a lot better than I am. I mean, good God. These people are so freaking amazing. But, I do write on my own and write, like short stories and stuff on my own. But yeah, I stopped performing. I don't perform.
Okay. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I've never seen you perform actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. I always see you in the background.
Seldom people be like, yo, Shay, I saw Shay perform. Like, yeah. Very seldom you'll hear someone say I saw Shay perform.
So now I'm gonna have to stalk you even more and just show up everywhere you are and be like, oh, there she goes performing. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I stopped performing. I just lost the passion. And I don't know, for some reason I lost the passion of performing, and I really enjoy I really enjoy watching other people perform and knowing that I gave that opportunity to someone. It makes my heart just, it's a high that, it's just beautiful.
There's something about that because I'm part of Kevin Powell's writing workshop, and every week he has this different guest come. And I think I can never say his last name because I don't remember it. I don't remember names. I'm terrible. But the guest, his first name was Jabari. And he was talking about the problem with self-publishing. And even though I'm a self-published writer, and he really ripped apart self-publishing. I was like, man, should I never self-publish again? He just really was not here for self-publishing. But he did say something that was important, that there are people who have the gift for writing, and there's people who have the gift for promotion. And the people who have the gift for promotion, that is their gift. They have the time, the energy, and the power to do it. And if you're busy writing, you don't necessarily have the time and to also then self-publish. So you can't to self-promote. So your gift may not be to do both. So you need people like you who are out there making space for people to do the rest of what they do. So
exactly, it's a balance to it. It's a balance to it. Mm-hmm. And we also need the people to sit and watch. You know what I'm saying? So it works hand in hand. We need the audience, we need the performer, and we need the promoter.
Absolutely, we do need
the partnership.
You are correct. So something that frustrates you about the state of your community, is there anything out there that you wish people knew, or something that's just frustrating has been frustrating for you?
This might be a bit controversial, and I apologize to anyone who gets offended, but I get really, really bothered when people tend to blame the fact that they grew up without their parents as an excuse to just be unkind or be angry all the time or be addicted to drugs. Or I feel like, yes, our parents do have a hand in how we grow up, and their neglect can affect us. Yes. But ultimately, you have the power to stop it. You have the power to say, no, I will not allow this to affect me negatively. I will not allow this to hurt me. I will not allow this to hurt my future. And it's hard. And it's something that is a lot harder for people to do, especially when you are not given the tools of like a counselor, mental health, or, the coping mechanisms. And you know what I'm saying? Somebody to really say to you like, yo, like what you're doing is not right. You know what I'm saying? Like without the people around you to really care for you, to like point out what's really going on with you, then yeah, it's going to be hard, but something in your mind has to click and say, you know what, this, I don't want this for myself. And, and this is coming from, personally, because I have been that person. I have been the person to use that as an excuse, saying, well, yeah, I drink all the time because I'm hurt. My mother doesn't want me. And it's true, like literally, like I've gone through, depression. I've gone through, literally, like my grandfather passed away, who raised me. 6 months later, my birth mother passed away. And literally what happened was when my grandfather passed away, I kind of like used that opportunity to get that bonding with my mother that I missed out on as a child. And to have her ripped away from me 6 months later after my grandfather, words cannot explain, like I'm about to cry now. Words cannot explain how hurt I was, how defeated I felt. I really was ready to give up. And I want to say it took me at least 2 years to get back on track, to really like just do some digging and really figuring out who I am and learning who I am and learning how to love who I am. And you know what I'm saying? And not trying to look for attention from other people and, beg for that type of thing, So that's something that really frustrates me, that we have to be accountable for our own lives and not blame just your parent. You can't blame them. Yeah, they gonna fuck up. They not, oops, sorry, I don't know if I curse. Yeah, they're gonna mess up. But ultimately your life is in your hands and you make the choice of what you want to do with your life.
So if you don't mind me asking, what did you do to make that turn for yourself?
I started going to church. And I had to go, and mind you, churches are weird, right? So you have to find the right church for you. And not weird meaning like, you just got to find what's going to fit for you. There's not one size fit all jeans, right? Mm-hmm. So there ain't one size fit all churches, right? Churches are different. So I had to find a church that was accepting of who I was and my sexuality. So I found a church that was right for me. And I literally drowned myself in Christ. Like I was in church. I joined the choir. I was at Bible study. I was in church every Sunday. I got really close with ministers, and as close as I got with them, that was like my mental health. Like that was like me going to therapy. You know what I'm saying? And I stopped hanging around people that I knew brought me down. I actually moved from where I was living to another place in the Bronx just because I needed new scenery, because I was like literally living in the same house where my mother grew up and where my grandfather was. And it was just like, it was just stifling. So I had to move out. But yeah, I definitely, connected with the right people and found a good church that could help me and support me during this low time. And to this day, I still am a member of that church. And this is, I want to say like 10 years later, I want to say that wow. I'm still a member of that church. And that's it. God is who saved me.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. How did you even know to go to church? Like, did you just like this? Did you hear a word?
Oh no, somebody made me go to church. Girl, I wasn't trying to go to church. I was like, I got things to do. I don't got time for church. So somebody that I was dating was very, very religious. And, she started going to church. And I was just like, I guess I'll go and check this out. And then I realized, I was like, church is fun. I like this. I like this, And there's plenty of times where I would go to church and be hungover from the next day, from the day before. And I'm just like, you know what, Chanel, you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing this. And I just was like, you know what? I hate being hungover in church. I'm gonna stop drinking. Like, I was just wow. So everything like worked hand in hand. Like, you gotta be in church to really be here, So yeah.
I love that though. Cause I'm listening to you. Granted, I'm in the process of trying to find a new church. Because my politics and the one I've been attending don't really align anymore. And so when you're saying that, I was like, I hear you. But I also, I started going because I realized I was going on dates on Sundays. And I was like, if I can get up and go on a date on Sunday, I can get up and go to church on Sunday.
Yes, you can.
Like, yes, you can. I can do both. Like I could go to church before I go on a date. Like that's possible. And that's actually, and then I kept going and I started saying my church. And I was like, where did that come from? My church. Okay, I guess this is my church now.
Like this is my church. I belong here.
Exactly. I was like, I don't know how this happened, but it became my church. So all right now. So are you originally from the Bronx too, or?
Yes, born and raised in the Bronx. Born and raised in the Bronx. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Okay, because I know you are at Lehman College now, right? Yeah, I live across
Yeah.
the reservoir, so I'm right
Oh, you right across the
there.
street. So I'm
Yeah.
actually graduating on the 26th. And
Congratulations.
yeah, and I actually serve the Bronx community as well as a community advocate. So, you know, I'm all about the Bronx, all about the Bronx. And I'm also trying to produce a television show about the Bronx called The X.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, I'm all about the Bronx, like all about the Bronx.
So you just representing all the communities. So how can we, those of us who may have been raised in more traditional or just whatever whatever they say is a traditional family, because even when it's traditional, it's not necessarily traditional either, right? So what can we, those of us who may not be aware of these other types of households, what can we do to support those type of households?
So one thing that I would say is, and I know people love Mother's Day, people love Father's Day, right? But like, just be a little bit more aware that people might not have a mother or might not have even a father, right? So when these holidays come up, just try to just, you know, be a little bit aware of it and not say, oh, what are you doing for Mother's Day? You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. Because I get that all the time. And I'm just like, well, I don't really have one, you know? So, you know, things like that. And like just having open-ended conversations, conversate with people, know who they are before you make assumptions of what their family dynamic is. You know, just don't make assumptions. The same way you don't assume someone's pronouns. It's the same way that you don't assume, you know, if they have a mother, especially like now, I guess now that we're a little bit more aware that some children don't have fathers, and that's very common. It's just as common that kids don't have mothers. You know, yes, someone birthed them, but they might not have a mother figure. They might not have, you know, any female in their life at all that's considered a mom, whether it be a guardian or a stepmom or whomever. They just might not have that. So just, you know, talk to people before you assume.
That's important. I mean, especially, I think even now, especially in the wake of this pandemic or whatever, where if people think it's over or not, whichever way we're going with that, like a lot of people lost a lot of people. A lot of people lost their parents during this time. So you don't even know if they're still just in a grief period. I saw one of my dear friends who just sat there and was like, I knew Mother's Day was going to be hard. And we're not even at Mother's Day yet. By the time this will air, Mother's Day would have passed. But they were just like, and sobbing because he just lost his mom about a month ago or something like that. So we just don't even know where people are on any of this right now. So they may just be newly grieving or anything. So thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that reminder. So you do a lot for the community, especially for the Bronx. So I appreciate you because, you know, from Bronxite to Bronxite, yes. You know, I'm all about the Bronx, born and raised right here too. So I'm very loud, proud, and kind of ignorant about it when you get a chance.
Okay, me too.
That's the time when I'm like, exactly. There's only, if you say Harlem or you say the Bronx, I get real crazy. Any other time,
I don't do Harlem. I claim the Bronx.
See, I claim the Bronx, but you know what? My family, my first church was in Harlem. My ex-boyfriend lived in Harlem, so I spent a lot of time in Harlem. So, and I will still get kind of loud for Harlem. I will get louder for the Bronx. It's the Bronx all day, you know. It's the Bronx, but whatever. So, how do we support and follow you?
Okay, so you can follow me at Bronx Poetry. You can follow me at Canvas Culture LLC. You can follow me at the.x.production on Instagram. And you can follow me. I have a website. It's called canvasculturellc.com. And yeah, follow me, like all my stuff.
Before we're done, you keep mentioning Canvas Culture, but you haven't really said what that is. What is Canvas Culture?
So Canvas Culture is my art company. So I do art events, whether it be like sip and paints, glass painting events, body painting events. So, and we only do private events. So you know, clients would hit me up and say, I want to do a sip and paint. I want it to be unicorn themed. And I literally last year I had a huge unicorn party, bouncy house and all that stuff. And then we did a unicorn themed sip and paint. But yeah, so we do all types of art events. And like I was saying, we did a pole and paint. So we hired dancers and they did pole dancing while everyone did art. So yeah, so we do art.
Okay. I'm still intrigued by this pole and paint, but okay. All right now. This has been absolutely amazing. Is there any last nuggets or words of wisdom or advice you have for people, whether they're in your community or they're not in the community? What do you want people to know? What do you have for them to know?
I will leave on this note. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. You
Mm.
know who you are, you walk in your greatness. And that's it. Nobody could define that but you.
There you go. You heard it from Shay Marie G. Thank you for talking on behalf of your community.